Hi. So you're on to the next day whenever you be doing this. And I wanted to go over a couple of the things that you did the previous day. Okay. Um, so one of the things we wanted to do is making sure that you're kind of getting a good exposure to the banking topic and going through and understanding checking accounts, right? One of the things I wanted to talk about is if you're doing the fine print, right? And remember, hopefully you're asking me. So if you have anything to ask on this, go back and do that ASAP because you want to ask questions in the moment and I will respond to you. Okay. Because you don't want to wait for me to grade it next week because remember, everything's due Sunday. So I'm not really grading as you go necessarily. I might sometimes. But if I don't, right, if I don't grade till next week, you might have just completely forgotten this and don't even care to look back because you're on the new assignments. So ask live, okay? Email me, or add the questions right on the assignment, okay? If you're looking at this assignment here, just making sure you understand the vocab, right? So let's quiz you on this. So what does it mean to withdraw money? That means to pull money out of your account. That can be you actually going to the bank to pull cash out, going to the ATM and pulling cash out, or going to the store and purchasing something with that debit card that's linked to your bank, right? And then a deposit means that you're putting money back into the bank account. I've never done it, but there's apparently like a way you can kind of do that at like a ATM or outside the bank. But typically you would go through the drive-through, right? And you would have the teller there, and you would give that person the money and deposit money that way, or actually go inside the bank. So either driving through or going inside, or it could also be an automatic deposit. So, for example, at my place of employment, every time we get paid every other Friday, so that's called biweekly. So every 2 weeks we get paid, and my money automatically that morning goes right into my bank account. And technically, I actually have my money going into about, okay, let's see. I have a bank that has my checking and savings. And then I have another bank that I had when I was a teenager. I still kept that bank account, but I actually used that as a different checking and savings account. And there's actually two savings. I have one for my son, which reminds me, I don't have one for my new son yet. Don't tell him. Okay. He's still super young. So my other son, when his first birthday came, that's when we opened a savings for him and started putting money in there. So I'll wait for Riker to turn 1, and then we'll put money in there. So, anyways, I have a savings and a checking there still from when I was a teenager. Just kept it open. I keep all of my savings going there. That for saving for a house or emergencies, that type of thing. And then I also have a savings that my son has some money. We try to put away, like I put away, I think $30 every paycheck, so about 60 or more dollars, depending on how many weeks are in that month, based on the biweekly. Um, about $60 a month goes in there for him. So when he's 16, 17, whatever age we decide, if he wants a car, if he uses it for college or whatever it might be that he chooses to do, it's accessible to him. So, anyways, I have a couple different accounts, and that automatically goes through my work. So, when I started working here, I went down there, I gave the account numbers, and I said, I want this much going here, this much going here, and then the rest goes into here. So, that's pretty interesting. So, that's withdrawal and deposit. Withdrawal means you're kind of like drawing it out, deposit means you're putting it in, positive, putting it in, keeping it. You have access to it. Okay. And then here's your balance. And something that I really want to make sure you understand is a lot of people don't get this in the mail anymore. So this looks very mail like, although an online account can look a little bit like this too. Um, but I have my bank account on my phone as an app, and I can access and see all the purchases I'm making. The thing you want to be super cautious about with banks is sometimes, like for example, when I make my car payment. So every time I get paid, I make my car payment that day. I have it scheduled that way. So instead of paying just one lump sum in the month, I split it up into the two times a month. And so when I go to make that payment, it doesn't automatically come out of my bank account. It takes 24 to 48 hours to process. So what's scary is you need to really pay attention to your money and kind of do things off to the side and not rely on the bank keeping track for you because it might take a while to process. So what I do is I go off to the side and I say, So I'm just literally making fake numbers here. So if I have $1,000 right there, and I'm like, okay, I need to make my car payment, say minus 200, and I also need to pay um, my cell phone bill. Boom, take off 50. And so I want to take all those things off. And so if I go make the payment, and I go look my bank, it might not show there yet. So what you want to be cautious of is now I don't have $150 in there anymore, right? So now I'm at 850. And so if I go to the store right now and I spend 900, that's not good, because what I should know is that I only should have access to 850 even though the bank doesn't know that yet. I know that. So you really want to pay attention to your money. Some people are like, "Oh, I think it's awful that the banks charge you if you overdraw or you spend more than what you have in there." No, no, no. You should be paying attention to your money. If you go to the store with $100 cash, you can't spend more than that, right? Like if it's a 101, you're like, like you have to get rid of something. So you need to pay attention to those types of things and be smart, and know that there's processing, there's things that take a little bit longer to load, right? So a bank doesn't know that I just paid my car payment, so it doesn't just take it out. And sometimes it takes a while for the communication between the online place where I pay my car payment and this bank to process. So I want to give it a couple days and then it'll show up. Okay, so it's really actually quite important to kind of keep it old school a little bit and keep track of these things on your own somewhere. I have an agenda that I keep that I do the budgeting in, and I also have calendars in that where it reminds me where payments are, because some things automatically come out monthly. So my Netflix comes, I think it's like the 15th every month. Now sometimes it's the 13th, because the 15th, if it's a Sunday, the Netflix will take it out on Friday, because Sunday's not like a day where things can be processed. So anywhere from the 13th to the 17th, for example, is when Netflix, an automatic $16.99 now, whatever it is, gets taken out. So I have to be ready for that. What else goes automatically? My cell phone bills are actually automatic too. So those get taken out on the 4th and the 22nd. So I have to be attentive to that. Now, the 4th doesn't mean it's always exactly the 4th. It could be the 2nd. It could be the 6th, depending on where that day falls. If it's on the weekend, it could be before. So just being cautious of those things, okay? So there's my little rant. So hopefully this is kind of making sense as we're going, and that vocab is hitting good. And like I said, if you're stuck on things, ask right away, okay? Ask right away. And sometimes too, if there's like a math thing that you're struggling with, let me know. I'll show you the work to that, okay? So I am here for you. I know that it's on like our own time basis, but that's what makes it fun and interesting. So just know if you get at me, it might take me a few hours to get back to you. Okay? All right.